Hey, everybody. I've got a special one today because, man, I got a lot to tell this guy because you probably know who he is. And if you don't, you're going to love it. He's got the energy, and he's pretty much an OG. Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Destruct Meister. Man, oh, I can't wait to start telling the story about just me over the internet dealing with you. Adam, what's up, man? You're back in Baltimore?
Yeah,
Be more.
I'm hanging in Baltimore, pounding that like button, people. I'm on fire. I'm here to wake you up tonight, baby, or whatever time you're watching this at.
I know, right? It's like 2 o'clock here, Sydney time. We just hit 60,000 again, right? Was it again?
Again, another
again.
Day, another all-time high soon. Whatever, it's normal. It's normality for us now. It's normality.
And down here, down under, it's 70, about 78,000. So we're gonna hit 100,000 before you guys in the States, man. So that's gonna be fun. But I'm sure you'll catch up soon thereafter. But I wanted to talk to Adam, like basically because I'm down here and I want to help the guys out at the Amber Exchange, their Bitcoin-only exchange. Alex Vexky runs this thing. He's a true libertarian. He's pro-Bitcoin. And I thought, I want to help these guys out, help a little content. And I think the first person I want to talk to was somebody who, if I would have listened to this guy, I'm looking at you, if I would have listened to this guy, I'm not going to say I'd be rich, but let's just say I wouldn't be going to work. Now, I want to talk, first we'll start, Adam, we'll talk about like 4 years ago, right, where I kind of started hearing about you. And then we'll talk about today and maybe the future. So, Adam, how did you get into Bitcoin? What do you think? 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Well, I got in 2013. I bought my first two Bitcoin in 2013. Nice shout out to Alex Spetsky too, and all the brothers down there in freaking Australia, down under Hasmacook, everybody down there. Hello. But so I got in. I got in 2013. I had heard about it in 2011, I think, that early, because I was into like alternative financial sites like Doug Casey and all those people, which led me to, he wasn't talking about Bitcoin, but others were. Yeah. All these doom and gloom dudes that thought the world was going to end and everything. And, I saw it, I had heard about it going from $1 to whatever, double digits. And then finally, I heard about it going to triple digits in 2013. I'm like, I'm not missing out on this. Now, and so that's when I bought my first two back in 2013. And I made my first video back then, too, in late 2013. And slowly but surely, over 2014 and 15, I started accumulating, doing more shows. And 2016, it really took off. I went all in with the shows. Maybe that's when you first saw me. And yeah, back in 2013, I didn't think I was an OG or anything like that. I'm like, maybe I'm late to this. And then by the time 2017 came around, I was like, okay, I am an OG. And then all these other dudes came out. So you said people, you'll probably know who Adam is. Nah, if somebody out there, most people don't know who Adam is because most people didn't end up millionaires. If you knew who I was for a long time, most likely, you're pretty good. I mean, you're in pretty good shape, or you got a pretty good story at least about how it went down. I know I've heard bits and pieces and everything. No regrets, people. No regrets. But dudes, because it is still early, because we're only in the 5-digit realm. We'll be in the six-digit realm eventually. So yeah, tell me about how you stumbled upon me. What you have something to share? I'm very curious.
Yeah. I need to start by apologizing to you, man, because I should have listened to you. But we all have to learn these lessons in life, and sometimes they're expensive lessons in life. But you learn from it and you grow from it. Because I'll say, if you came in 2013, was it when Coinbase came online?
Yes,
or did you
exactly. I wasn't gonna go send stuff to Japan. And when I heard that this Coinbase thing made it easy, and I saw the price was rising, it was going from 400 to 500 to 600. I had FOMO. I was like, it's 650. I got to get it. So I think I paid like a little under 1,300 for two of them, which I thought was expensive at the time, but little did I know. But yeah, Coinbase, And a lot of people hate on Coinbase. And again, you're going to be, I mean, you're associated with a clear competitor of Coinbase, and who has a completely different mentality than Coinbase is an altcoin machine. But they're about, dominating, going public. But it made things easy for the people that were around early on. Okay, so I thank God for Coinbase, because maybe I would never have bought. Maybe I would have bought from Mt. Gox, and I would have got Gox.
Exactly. I said the same thing, because first of all, I wasn't going to send like a money order to Europe, to wire, to like, it was too many steps. It wasn't hard. It was hard. But like I said, Coinbase came. You could just link your bank, buy Bitcoin. That was it. So yeah, 2013, same thing. Bought some. And I was still into the gold silver thing, because I just like, it sounds like a fiat digital currency. I'm not technical. But I'm just learning about the Fed. I'm learning about how central banking works. And you're reading Creature from Jekyll Island. You're like, oh, no, man, but it's going up. So let me just get a little bit. And then I literally sold at the top, like that December 1100.
Yes.
And bought gold, because I was like, and I sold it, and then it crashed. And I'm like, gee, if I would have held that, I might have been angry, and I might have been turned off from Bitcoin if it went from 1100 back to 3. I would have just been like, F this.
So you actually sold at the top and you bought gold with it. And but then what happened? Yeah, but so then you got a bunch of gold laying around.
Well, yeah, but this is 20.
When did you enter Bitcoin again? When did you get back into Bitcoin?
So then when I moved down here, then I'm like, okay, it's you know what it was too? It was listening and reading Cliff High.
Oh God! No.
I know, but still, it was just like he was talking about it. So you're thinking, okay, well, let me just get a little bit on almost like a flyer, right? It's just like, all right, it didn't die, right? 1100 to 300 didn't go to zero. So a few years later, you're like, well, it didn't die. It's still around. And then, I said Cliff was talking about that and a bunch of other, shit coins, but still, that process made me start buying Bitcoin again. So, I mean,
it's positive, a positive development. Definitely. Yeah. Cliff used to, you say he had a magical computer that would say, it's going to be 8888. And when it would reach 8888, everybody would say, oh, look, he knew it. I mean, of course, when it's going up, it's going to pass 8888. He'd always, these magical repetitive numbers. People were very impressed by that. Very, very impressed. Yeah. They didn't know about his predictions about aliens landing in Israel in 2010, et cetera, et cetera. No, but I go on. He as long as he inspired people to buy Bitcoin, that wasn't possible.
Which he did. And so, I mean, like I said, it was hit and miss, some things or whatever, but so yeah, that's, and you just buy, and you were just kind of hoping like, all right, man, it's not going to zero, and you keep adding. And it went sideways for what, 2014, 15, maybe 16, up until almost ICO phase. Was that early 2017?
Yeah. It was the last day of the first day of 2017. It hit 1,000 again. That's when it finally hit 1,000. The first day of 2017, and from there, it started doing very well. We're around where Bitcoin was, exact 210,000 blocks ago, which was now about June the 1st of 2017 is where we are in the cycle, and where it was doing well then, and that's when the ICO started, and this is when the NFTs start in this cycle.
and that's where a lot of us, this guy, thought we were too smart. All this, and the reason I'm talking to you because we're at the point where people are on board, say with Amber or whomever, and they're just getting in, and maybe retail's about to get in again, but all the shiny things are appearing, right? NFTs. Look at this shitcoin that's 2 cents or $1. Bitcoin's 60,000. I can buy a bunch of those. And was that number bias? Is that what that's called?
Unit bias.
Unit bias. So I want to talk to you so people listen, because if I would have listened to this guy back in the ICO days, I wouldn't have departed with many, many, many Bitcoin that just have disappeared and exit scammed or just disappeared.
Well, my one saying that people would have stopped people had they taken it as law, Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin, period. Bitcoin, but what you thought is, oh, this ICO thing is the next big thing. I want to get in the next big thing. And all these altcoiners think their coin is going to be the next Bitcoin. People have to teach themselves. No, Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. So why not just stick? I mean, all these flashy, and the NFT thing seems crazier than the ICO.
Yeah, I literally don't know what that is, an NFT is. I literally haven't put any brain power to yield farming over the last year. Didn't fall for it. You might have made people money, God bless you. And NFTs, I literally haven't I know non-fungible token. I don't know what that means. I just don't want to know. It's head down and stack sats.
Yeah, that's a great attitude to have. Focus. Because that's NFT. No, that's not focusing. You're going down. And hey, good luck to them. Exactly. I mean, let those people do what they're going to do. And maybe some people, it seems like a lot of mainstream people are hearing about it and coming to the cryptocurrency space because of it. So maybe they'll find out about Bitcoin. So yeah, you dump Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin was worth like $1,500 a piece back then. And you bought ICOs with it. And the ICOs went up for a while. And now those ICOs are worth zero. And thus the Bitcoin you would have held is now worth $60,000. So I mean, no regrets. You learned the lesson.
Right. You got touch the oven.
But back then I would be interviewed on shows like this, and a dude, he asked me, what ICO do you recommend? I'm like, no, I can't do that. I don't recommend any ICO. Just stick with Bitcoin. I mean, it's wrong for me when I know what's good. I know it's the wrong thing. So, but no, when I was in Australia, I remember I was hanging out with some people in Perth. Me and another big Bitcoiner, Nate, a great guy. We were hanging out with these ladies, and they were all they were on some ICO group talking about the latest one, and they knew how to buy them a certain way. Oh my God. And I was just telling them, Bitcoin's like $2,300. You should get it. I was in Perth in like July of 2017. Yeah, July and August 2017, whenever it was. And but no, and it probably ended horribly for them. They probably not even, so many people that got into ICOs like you aren't into cryptocurrency, aren't into anything anymore. So you got to give yourself credit. At least you're still in the Bitcoin. I mean, some people are just totally turned off by it.
Yeah, and so then we hit the halving 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. And I remember sitting out. I work pretty much a minimum wage job, right, in Australia, and I'm at on the back of this loading dock, and the halving was happening. I'm thinking, people are talking like this is a big deal. I should probably add to my position. And then I watched it go for a year later, so it goes 10x and 10x and 4x from that. So that happened, right? It goes up, goes down, but it crashes. But I'm thinking, holy crap, this is going to happen again in 4 years. So even though it went up to here to 28. And pull it back to 5 or whatever it is, it's like, well, this happens every 4 years. So I need to get as much as I can before 2021, a year after
the halving,
the 2020.
Yeah.
And it's playing out. So then people think, hey, guess what happens in 4 years? Another one of these things. And we're going to start at another higher level.
Yeah, that's what I try to teach people. The 210,000 block cycle. The 4-year cycle, whatever you want to call it. It's based around the halving. And people think the halving is a magical day. No, it doesn't go crazy that day. You got to wait. You got to wait 7 months, 8 months or whatever. But it's very similar what has happened this time in terms of the explosion. The return to an all-time high and then an explosion. And hopefully it'll happen again. So, you could take any point in time and subtract 210,000 blocks. And Bitcoin is worth more than it was 210,000 blocks ago in terms of US dollars. So that's a good thing to tell the newbies. But it's like a savings account. It's not instant gratification, people. It's you gotta wait it out. And so you learned you messed around with instant gratification, ICOs, and then you learned your lesson, and now you're patient with it. So you got a strong freaking hand.
And so 4 years ago, it was just me and the dudes in IT looking at our block folios, thinking, holy crap, we're going to be millionaires before it crashed. But this time around, like we used to say Wall Street's coming maybe 2 years ago. Last year, Wall Street's coming. Well, Wall Street's here.
Oh, yeah.
And like, where do you see this thing going, man? Because those checks are a little bigger than, my, $10, $20 buys. These guys are coming in with $100 million, $1 billion buys. When do you think the supply crunch hits? Because Coinbase is draining lots of Bitcoin. I don't know where they get all this Bitcoin from.
Well, I think you really got a good perspective on this. Yeah, they're here. The Wall Street people are here. They're not all here yet, though. Okay. No. And so if you're a regular Joe out there, you can still beat half the more than half the Wall Street people in. But where do I see this going? I try to be conservative. I really do try to be conservative. I said this, some people who've heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again. Bitcoin is more than a freaking company. And the most valuable company on the planet is Apple. It's worth $2.2 trillion. Bitcoin's market cap is only $1 trillion. So, I mean, it's going to have to beat out Apple. It's going to have to over double in price to do that. So that's the next step. That's the next milestone. The $1 trillion market cap, that was a big milestone. And we got there pretty fast. I'm very impressed. So, yeah, over $2 trillion market cap is definitely on the horizon. I don't like to make, time predictions or I don't really even like to make specific number predictions like I sort of just did. But just logically thinking, if you really believe in Bitcoin out there, people, just think but if you think it's expensive, think like, well, wait a second. It has to be worth more than Apple. It has to be. It just or then you don't believe in it. So, okay, then move on to something else. Buy Apple. I don't know. But so, 6-digit realm, we're going to get there. We're going to get there eventually. And Charlie Lee, by the way, said he would return to my show when Bitcoin got to the 6-digit realm. So I'll hold him to that. And, everyone associates Charlie Lee with Bitcoin, but he's a huge Bitcoin holder, of course.
Yeah. Man, I haven't heard Charlie his name in a year or two.
He tries he keeps a low profile these days. More so than he used to.
Oh yeah, big time. Maybe he doesn't want the authorities he's just supposed to be off their radar. Like, I don't want the IRS come knocking on my door, man.
I'm sure he follows all the rules and regulations of the IRS, but who would want such attention, being the founder of the third most known cryptocurrency out there, it's advisable to be on the down low. I mean, I'm sure he's in a good area of the country, though, Silicon Valley. He's in good shape, no doubt about it. But even he is a Bitcoin holder, of course. So we'll get people. You got to be patient. Don't have that unit bias and think this thing's worth 2 cents. It's cheap, and Bitcoin's 60. You could buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, and if you double your money, that's pretty good. That's pretty good in life.
Yeah. A lot of people, I try to tell people, is you don't need to buy the full Bitcoin. You can buy, most exchanges like $20 minimum. And it's, just think that $20 is going to 10X, and someday that's going to 10X. And if you do it regularly, you're buying time. You're buying, the future where, you'll be able to, live, maybe eat, maybe, buy a house for that $20. Down here, everything is $20. You go to McDonald's, a Happy Meal is $11 or something stupid, right? It's retarded. So it's not that much money for possibly a lot of money in the future.
Yeah, treat it as a savings account, people. Just instead of thinking like you're buying something for $20, you're depositing $20 in your savings account. That's all you're doing, and one day you'll reap the benefits. And you'll over time you'll be able to send your kid to college with it one day. Or I wouldn't advise doing that because college is going to be horrible in 20 years. So you buy a house in 20 years. I don't know. It keeps on surprising me. I mean, back in 2013, I didn't think 8 years later it would be 60,000. I mean, I was just hoping it would be $3,000
right
soon, and it was a little bit sooner than I thought. So it's been such a wild ride, and it's such a fun ride too. So come on, ride that train. I'm gonna ride that train. Yeah, all right. Pound that like button.
Because even if you see me on Twitter, I'm always tweeting that Eddie Murphy meme from Trading Places where he's on the beach, just take the sip and just relax, man. Once you're on the Bitcoin train and you're stacking sats, you just relax. Just sit back and relax, man, and just let it happen. Just let it ride.
By the way, everyone, that was a great movie. That was such a funny freaking movie. He was great. He was at his height back. Well, he was around his height back then. And I still don't exactly know what they exactly did with the orange juice futures and all that stuff. But who cares? It doesn't matter. You don't need to know this.
Insider trading. You don't need stuff. It's the same stuff they're doing now. Insider trading.
Yeah, that's all you got to know. Yeah, I mean,
nothing changes, right? That was the 80s, 70s, 80s.
Early 80s, man. It was classic. Watch it, people. That's when the classic movies were made. Early 80s.
It is a classic. Billy Ray Valentine, Louis Winthrop III, guys. So what do you think about the future, man? Because one thing I think people are sleeping on, and I've said this the last year, is Lightning and that Jack Mallers kid. And that's in that strike. Like when that starts popping, dude, I don't know. People are going to lose their minds once that gets going.
He's got cojones, man. He's got cojones, and he's a smart guy. Because I don't know how regulators are what they're going to think of that. I wish they would just leave everybody alone. But I mean, he's a target. We're talking about Charlie Lee being a target, but he's doing something that's, you're going to be able to exchange dollars for Australian dollars, but do it through Bitcoin, but not know that you're doing it through. So that's really cool, and that's going to be very disruptive. And I'm the disrupt Meister, so I got a hand in. And I mean, that's just a peek into the future of the innovation that can happen in this golden age of the 2020s. There are other people that are just like him that we haven't heard of yet. I mean, and that's going to be exciting to discover them. So Lightning Network, if people want to spend their Bitcoin, good luck to them. But it'll make it easy for them. I don't follow the Lightning Network stuff too much. Everyone always asks me about it and stuff. But that's the glorious thing about Bitcoin. There's so many different realms. You don't have to be a Lightning Network fan. You don't have to be a spender. You don't have to worry about that stuff if you're just a freaking saver like me. And we can all live in happiness and do our own thing. But yeah, there are young dudes out there building this stuff. And, we go back. I got into this in 2013. Some of these dudes were like 12 years old back then. And so it's amazing. I mean, you put it into perspective. They've grown up with now in a very uber digital age here. So what are we going to get in the next 4 years from the guys who were 8 years old back then and stuff? So it's very exciting. And they're doing the Taproot also with Bitcoin is coming around. All the tech dudes can handle their business, and they've done a great job so far, with SegWit and everything. So keep on innovating, you tech dudes, and us marketing guys and finance guys. We'll just we'll do our thing. So there's plenty of room. And by the way, there are so many in this space. There are lots of organizations that need marketing help when it comes to Bitcoin. Sure, and they're plenty that need technical help also. But a lot of people kind of discount marketing and Bitcoin. It's necessary. It's very necessary. Bitcoin still, its story is not clear to most of the world. Like many people think it's died or it's for bad people, and that it's too hard. So there's so much opportunity for education and marketing out there. But again, going back to Jack Mallers, more power to him. And that's there'll be others out there just like him eventually.
Because my point is, if like that guy gets that, strike and working with Lightning, I mean, if he's putting bullets in XRP or Litecoin or all these other shit coins that supposedly do things faster, if he puts that bullet, it's only the Bitcoin ecosystem, and they've got the transaction speeds that these guys are trying to do. He might even put a bullet in Ethereum, and if they start all of a sudden developing, some kid right now, like you're saying, starts developing smart contracts on Bitcoin, because now Lightning's got quick transaction. I mean, that's it.
Well, yeah, when you bring up XRP, I think one of their cult members are always talking about it being very fast and everything like that. But they already have a bullet in them because they're centralized, and the government has gone after them, and they have an office and they have leaders, and that's the only thing that I worry about with certain Bitcoin projects, that they just have to be careful about following the rules and regulations. And I think from what I've heard, Jack has just gone. There's certain things he's just going, he'll deal with it when he deals with it type of thing. So, and that might not have been on his current project. That might have been on something else. But I'm not too worried about putting bullets in those altcoins. Now, because they just go, the flavors of the month come and go. I've seen IOTA. I've seen Neo. What else do I need to see? Theta is the flavor of the month now. I don't even know what that really is right now.
I still don't know. I don't know back when it came out. Like,
but you got to remember with Ethereum, though. I mean, Ethereum does have a lot of smart developers doing stuff on them too. So they're not going away. I know a lot of Bitcoin people were annoyed by them. I just say ignore the Ethereum stuff. Well, we're not going to be able to ignore it in a few months when they go proof of stake. Well, who knows if it's a few months, but down the road when they go proof of stake, and some of the dudes will start saying they'll really turn on the Bitcoin is destroying the environment with proof of work FUD, come over to Ethereum, and there will be news stories about it. There will be news stories about, oh, look, the number 2 cryptocurrency is good for the environment. The number 1 cryptocurrency is bad for the environment. But it's all fun. Compete, don't complain, I say. Compete, don't complain. And I think Ethereum and Bitcoin are apples and oranges. They completely different things. I mean, this Dallas Maverick, the guy who owns the Mavericks, what's his name? Mark Cuban. I haven't read the article yet, but I see people tweeting out that he says Ethereum is real money. I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, he's probably hyping it because he says he owns a lot of it. I mean, I guess that's why he's hyping it up. It's not compared to Bitcoin. It's not even trying to be money, dude. Ask freaking Vitalik, and he'll tell you it's not trying to be money. But there are going to be all sorts of famous people that come out and say all sorts of crazy freaking, and they've already done plenty of them that say crazy things about cryptocurrency, and they've been totally wrong, and they have ulterior motives. You always have to consider that. You just think for yourself, people. Don't do what Mark Cuban does. Don't do what any famous person does. You figure it out for yourself and just use logic. Like, this is bigger than Apple, so it's got to be worth more than Apple.
Yeah. And whoever's funding you gotta, if they're talking their book, if they're a money manager and they want, they don't want you to go make, 100% this quarter in Bitcoin. They want to get you in a 60-40 bond portfolio that hopefully gets you 7%, and he charges you 2 and 20, whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what that means. But if you're paying this dude money to lose you some money because, the dudes in their bedrooms just made 100% this quarter from Bitcoin by hodling.
The cool thing about that 60-40 thing or whatever they recommend, a few of them are now saying like, 50-40-10 with Bitcoin. So there a few of the younger ones are changing. But things I have heard indirectly from money managers that are like over 65 years old, I mean, what they have said about Bitcoin, they're definitely scared of it, or they're just clueless about it. They say that it's a scam. I mean, I people that have that I like have said they said they've hesitated because what these guys have said, because they've trusted these guys for 30 years. They paid them 3% a freaking year for 30 years, and they're addicted to it. But no, those people are going to be it's disintermediation. It's called getting rid of intermediaries like that. They're not necessary anymore. No. There's money manager manage your portfolio. Manage your own portfolio, people. It's that simple. Your portfolio is just this. Then you put it on your Trezor and you forget about it. You put it in your piggy bank, whatever, and that's it. You don't need to pay some guy 2% to tell you to buy Tesla for you or whatever he does.
Seriously.
And Coca-Cola, Tesla, and Coca-Cola.
Or Google or Apple, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, thank you for your time. Let's see. Is there anything you want to tell? Because I mean, with Amber, a lot of people are new to this. Like, I'm trying to get people signed up on Amber in the family. It's an easy way to save. If you're in America, I know there's people let you dollar cost average. If we haven't said it already, like, what's your number one thing to tell the newbies, about Bitcoin, or some advice?
Yeah. Well,
what do you tell the new coiners?
That Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin, and you're going to get a lot of information about other coins. You're not going to avoid it. You could try, and they're going to be tempting. Do not be tempted. Do not be tempted to there's no diversification for the sake of diversification. There's so many people like, well, you can't just stick with one. You know, it might become MySpace. It might be, dudes. People have been saying it's going to become MySpace for 12 years now. It hasn't. It's the tippity top. There have been lots of challenges. So Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Treat it as a long-term, as a savings account. Don't touch it. Just do nothing with it. I mean, I know that sounds boring, but it's, you know, if you would have done nothing, if you would have bought back in 2016 and done nothing now, I mean, you would have paid $600 a piece, and now it's $60,000 a piece. So you would have, I mean, that's 100x. That's 100x on just one of them. You would have spent $600 then. So that doesn't seem very boring to me. Over the long run, it's very exciting. You know, day to day, you know, and that's the other thing, guys. If it's a roller coaster, so it's going to go high. It's at 60,000 now, whatever. It's going to go higher, but then there's going to be a day where it drops $20,000, and you cannot panic. You cannot. You got to just hang on and not do anything irrational. In the United States of America, we have certain tax rules where if you hold it for more than a year, it becomes long-term capital gains. But if you sell it in less than a year, it's a short-term capital gains. You get taxed more. So you don't want to freak out and you know, sell in less than a year, because you're gonna get punished by the government with that. So I don't know what the rules are in Australia, but I'm sure there are all sorts of other punishments out there from the government. So, you know, do nothing. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Try to get paid in Bitcoin for stuff, you know. And there's opportunities out there. People wanting to pay you in Bitcoin to do marketing for them online. And watch me at disruptmeister.com and follow me on Twitter at TECHBALT. I'm always giving you unique beast type of information, stuff you're not going to hear anywhere else. There's a lot of mainstream crypto noise right now. They just talk about the same thing over and over again. You know, what's China doing? What's India doing? And it's like, God, I've heard the story like 50 times. It really doesn't matter if China or what China and India are doing. It matters what I'm doing with my Bitcoin, because no country can stop it. No individual can FUD it out. And sure, there's sometimes when there's great news and the market reacts real nice, but it evens out eventually. So just stay cool, stay calm, and, you know, just take it 4 years at a time. How about that?
Yep. Dollar cost average for 4 years. No up or down, man. Dollar cost average. Whatever country you're in. If you're in Australia, check out Amber. If you're in America, check out what they got to offer. There's a few. I believe, or Alex said, I think, and I don't think I'm talking out of school, like Amber is going to enter the U.S. market. So, you know, just another option to, you know, on your phone, dollar cost average, and give it 4 years. Don't worry about this, man. Just worry about that calendar. 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, he did say something about it coming. There's a company called Swan in the U.S. that some people like to use, the dollar cost average and everything. Mm-hmm. And again, I mean, Coinbase is about to go public, by the way, people, on, I think it's
2 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks.
It's April 14th, I believe. Is the day. So that the price will probably jump that day, but so yeah, just that's if you're wondering why the price jumps that day, that's probably why. That's I'm putting that out there for people. But it'll crash down again after that. It's a roller coaster, but you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it once you've been in this game, you know, for 4 years. Once you've been here for 4 years, you've seen it all, because it starts repeating in the 4 year cycle. Yep. But many people can't hang on for 4 years. That is the sad part. They get and many of these people buying NFTs now, they'll get weeded out. They'll get weeded out, and they'll regret it in 2024. They're like, oh yeah, I bought an NFT. I thought cryptocurrency was a scam, and now look in 2024 how much Bitcoin's worth.
Yeah, that's it. All right, man. Well, hey, man, thanks for staying up. I know it's late on the East Coast, and you know I appreciate you talking to me, man. If I would have listened to you, bro. If I would have just listened to you, I'd be in a better place.
No regrets.
No, not regrets, but it's like, man, hey, I touched the oven, I got burned, I learned, and staying away from the oven. So, so everybody, check out Adam. He's on Spotify, he's on Twitter, he's on YouTube. Go find him at TechBalt on Twitter. And hey, man, thanks for stopping by, and I appreciate it.
Sure. Pound that like button, everybody. See you later.
Hey, if you come back down, man, you can come hang out with me too.
All right. Hopefully one day I'll be allowed in Australia again.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. That'll be our next show. We'll talk about that stuff next show.
Yes.
All right, man.
See you later.